We are following breaking news out of Buffalo. Police are investigating a triple shooting on Jewett Avenue. Police just left the scene 2 minutes ago, so we will not be bringing you a live picture. But Buffalo police did tell us 3 men were shot. This is video from earlier this evening, about 20 minutes ago, of the scene there. You can see the large police presence. We are told 2 of the men shot were hit in the stomach, another in the ankle. All are expected to live. Again, all of this information is coming from police. This is video again from about 20 minutes ago to just 2 minutes ago when Buffalo police packed up and left the scene. You just saw evidence markers on the street, multiple police cruisers, the caution tape surrounding the area. Again, 3 men were shot on Jewett Avenue tonight. All are expected to be okay. We are going to continue to bring you updates on our Twitter and Facebook pages, as well on our website, wknd.com. You can also tune in just a few hours to Weekend Wake Up for more details.
It's time that, this get put to a stop.
People living on Taft Place in North Buffalo say enough is enough. They blame a nearby gentleman's club for problems in the neighborhood. Police say last night a drunk driver hit a dozen parked cars on the street, and sources tell us that's where the driver was coming from. News 4's Rachel Monjovi joins us with neighbors' concerns. Rachel?
Well, Callan, neighbors say it isn't the first time people have ruined their property after leaving the gentleman's club, but they say what happened overnight is the worst it's ever been. They're calling on the city to do something about it. 2 separate home surveillance cameras captured this sound. It's a pickup truck slamming into a parked car. A few seconds later, both cameras catch this. You can see the driver of the Dodge Ram speeding down the street, hitting 12 cars along the way.
Very disrespected. We're a quiet neighborhood. We all invest in our homes.
Busted mirrors, scratched doors, and crushed fenders is the reality for a dozen people living on Taft Place.
This is the first time that neighbors have experienced this level of property damage.
Buffalo police say this man, 36-year-old Joshua Jones, was driving drunk around 4 Saturday morning. Sources tell us he was leaving the Colony, a gentleman's club just down the block.
The type of clientele that they attract, the fact that they abuse our street.
Who you bring into your business, and that business, the clientele they bring in are pretty shady.
Neighbors say they've complained about the club in the past, but nothing has changed. Councilman Joel Ferraletto says he's working with the city and state to address liquor license concerns. In the meantime, neighbors fear this type of activity will continue on what they say is usually a quiet, family-friendly street.
I don't want to lose my neighbors. I like my neighbors. They have children that are 2 years old. And
we're concerned that it's going to be an injury, it's going to be a death. We're concerned for our safety, frankly.
Now, Buffalo police arrested Jones after he ran from the scene. We're told security guards at the Colony stopped him. He's charged with DWI, leaving the scene of a property accident, and unlicensed operation of a vehicle. We did stop by the Colony for a comment, but the owner wasn't in. Reporting live, Rachel Monjovi, News 4 at 11.
Thank you, Rachel. University at Buffalo police need your help tonight to catch a man they say is responsible for a string of burglaries and thefts in the dorms. Police say the crimes have been happening since the end of July, and this man, 20-year-old Darnell Cleveland, is the suspect in 7 burglaries. There is a warrant out for his arrest. Police tell us he is not a student at UB, and they were able to pinpoint him thanks to surveillance video and other evidence found during the investigations. Police say he is 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs about 180 pounds. If you see Cleveland or know where he might be, call University Police at 645-2222. Fire crews' quick actions likely saved this Days Inn from being destroyed by a fire. Members of the Brighton Volunteer Fire Department were called to the hotel on Niagara Falls Boulevard around 12:30 this afternoon after smoke was coming from an occupied room. We're told the fire started moving up the building's columns there, heading towards the roof, but the assistant chief says at least 4 rooms were damaged by the smoke. They were able to stop it. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. 8 Western New Yorkers are thankful to be home tonight. They were stranded on St. Martin after Hurricane Irma hit the island. Tonight, they finally made their way back to Buffalo after being rescued by a Royal Caribbean cruise. Their family was there to surprise them. We spoke to one woman who described enduring the storm and the chaotic aftermath.
The beginning of the storm was okay. The eye was very quiet. After the eye, all the windows blew out in the kitchen and living room, and we bunkered down in a bathroom. The aftermath was pretty bad. There was a lot of looting on the street. There were people with machetes, people being robbed, and then we had no communication for 3 days.
She says she is thankful for the cruise line and the agent who helped bring them back to the United States. Governor Andrew Cuomo is sending help to the U.S. Virgin Islands as they recover from Irma. After surveying the damage, he announced he will send 100 National Guard military police and 30 state police to help local authorities there. The troops will specifically go to St. Thomas at the request of Governor Kenneth Mapp. Well, now, Kaylee, we are tracking the path of Hurricane Jose. It is still a Category 1, correct?
Correct. It still is a Category 1 storm sitting at about 80 miles per hour tonight. And the track of this storm has been all over the place. But what you need to know for right now is that it's not expected to make landfall anytime soon. It is, however, expected to move up the east coast just far enough away that it doesn't make landfall, but still can cause some concern for those coastal regions. Back here at home, couldn't be a quieter or much different story. This was a photo of the sunset tonight sent in just looking over Lake Erie, over that lighthouse there, and a gorgeous sunset, a little bit hazy, but overall a really nice night. Now this evening, you'll notice on the satellite and radar there's not much to talk about yet. There's no fog developing, but overnight that for sure will be taking place as these temperatures that right now sit in the upper 60s and lower 60s too if you're south of Buffalo will fall down into the mid to upper 50s and then eventually the low 60s as well for the metro. Here's a look at where temperatures climbed to today. In the low 80s, 82 degrees is where they climbed to. The average right around 71, so about 11 degrees warmer in the metro. And of course, because it was so warm earlier on today, tonight's temperatures won't turn really too cool. By about 5 o'clock in the morning, already sitting at about 60 degrees. As we move through tomorrow, we'll go into the 70s at first, and then eventually back into the low 80s. So we've got a really nice Sunday on tap for you with just a couple of hiccups in the forecast, and they come in the form of some rain. So coming up, we'll talk about the areas that can expect to see some of those showers, plus how long they stick around.
All right, thanks, Kaylee. The Air Force Marathon was today in Dayton, Ohio, and New York Air National Guard Master Sergeant Crystal Cruz was there to represent our state. It was a history-making day for Master Sergeant Cruz. She is the only woman on the 4-person team. And as News 4's Marissa Perlman explains, this week was historic for her in another way, too.
I, Crystal Susanna Cruz,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend
the
Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
On September 11th, 2017, Master Sergeant Crystal Cruz re-enlists to spend another 3 years on the U.S. Air Force. Fitting, as 16 years ago on this date, she signed up for the first time.
She enlisted as a 17-year-old right out of high school. Right when the planes, hit the towers. I think it impacted her a lot, her decision to serve her country. So, I stand back in awe myself. I'm a service member myself, but I stand back in awe at her decision, especially at that time in our country's history.
She calls it the most rewarding experience of her life.
We just really wanted to give back to our community, serve locally here in Niagara Falls, and give back to our country.
On top of her service, she's been training to run on behalf of the Air National Guard in this year's Air Force Marathon.
We compete against all the other major commands across the United States Air Force.
She's running the full marathon Saturday alongside 3 other men, being the only female representative.
She's running circles around me.
Her husband, Sergeant Russ Cruz, says she trains through tough Buffalo winters.
Through the winters, through the summers here, she's training. She's up at 4 a.m. She's up before the sun comes up. She's doing 13 miles before morning, before she goes to work.
But this isn't her first rodeo. Last year, she competed in a 50-mile run up mountains in California.
From Auburn to Folsom, California, right up a mountain, 50 miles, 9 hours and 8 minutes of running nonstop.
This will be friendly competition, but she's still hoping to bring that trophy home to the Niagara Falls Air Base. Marissa Perlman, News 4.
Well, we checked the race results, and Cruz came in 137th out of nearly 1,500 runners and 4th in her own age group. Her pace, 8.5-minute miles. Congratulations. What an awesome feat. Just incredible work. Well, still ahead at 11, true dedication, how these people are giving back to cats in need. And it's the end of an era. Mickey Ratz prepares to say goodbye. Hear why the manager says this is so bittersweet.